everybody, and a very warm welcome to the latest episode of Vinyl Finds Plus the Shrink Must Go. And maybe unboxing a Grail record. Why maybe? I'm telling you the story after my first opening unboxing of this record. I had a talk with my future livestream guest, Andreas, who is a former employee of Optimal, who's working in the record industry for quite a long time. And we discussed best records of 2022, and he recommended me a record, and he said in the last couple of years he hadn't heard such a great record. And it was from Aretha Franklin. It was an album I wasn't having, so I bought this for a very reasonable price from JPC, but I had to wait 6 weeks to have it. But I can't wait to play it because my expectations are very high about this. So I would say let's open it up. I can hardly wait. So, first of all, the packaging from JPC is always very good. So, let's see. I'm sorry for your ears. Okay, let's see. From Music on Vinyl. Okay, let's put it that way. Produced by Robert Mersey. Okay, so here it is, Aretha Franklin, a tribute to Dinah Washington. There's the Music on Vinyl sticker up there, which says classic album, 180 gram audiophile vinyl pressing. Whatever an audiophile vinyl pressing means. Does it mean it sounds fantastic? I was told it sounds great. So I do like it when the records are being packed up in outer sleeves like this. They are reusable, and I can keep using them instead of throwing them away. So it's a very thick, not too thick cardboard, but I have seen thinner ones. So this is the front, and this is the back of the record. As far as I know, there was also a gold version of it. I'm trying not to buy colored vinyl, but many people say it's not as it used to be, that the sound is not as good as colored, as black vinyl, but it's still somehow in my mind. So if I can choose between colored variation, I always use the black one. It might be BS to this day, but it's what it is. So let's see. There's a little dirt on it, but there are no scratches or anything. But I think it's warped. But we'll see later on the record player how bad it is. But yes, here it is on Columbia label, and I can, we will see if I need to return it. That's also one thing I'll discuss with Andreas. Maybe it's just me. I seem to have a lot of bad luck with getting new records. I think 50% of the records I'm getting are warped. But yeah, we'll see. All right, the Grail record. Ever since I have my channel, I get like 2 times, 3 times a month emails with people wanting to sell me records, and not just ordinary records, high Grail records. And most of them, 7 out of 10 mails were about the Barbara Hayward record I was looking for a long time. I don't have the original in this cube, but this is the Vinyl Me Please reissue. This is the record I was talking about. I was looking for years for an original one. I finally got it last year. But I got many mails concerning this record. And it was always kind of I was getting a mail and somebody wrote a very long story. I found this record on a flea market. I found this in my uncle's collection. I found it in a bookstore. All kinds of stories, or I bought it directly back then. All kinds of stories, and always pictures with it. And the first time this happened, I was like, oh wow, this is so great. So I opened the mail, and I've learned in life, if things are too good, you might double check. So what I did was I looked at the pictures. I found the story legit. It was the first time I got this mail. So I checked the pictures, and they were the same pictures as shown on Discogs. So I wrote the seller back and asked, could you send me some other pictures and all of this? And the answer was, well, if you don't trust me, I'm not doing business with you. I said, okay, I can live with that, because I'm not spending money on something where I don't have actual pictures to it. And this happened quite a few times, where I was getting these kind of mails and pictures. So, and I'm always checking the pictures. There were pictures from Pop Psych or from the reissue. And I also one time requested a picture of the Death Wax. And I saved that picture because, the person who wrote me said, okay, I can send you this. I have some lighting issues, so it might be not so clear or so visible to see. And that was the picture I got. And when people are saying I'm not doing PayPal, I had bad experience with it. I'm questioning, okay, why did you have bad experience with it? And use Western Union. So use payment method which are not protecting you as a buyer. So this is something I'm not so happy with, and I'm not doing. I'm always doing when I buy something, use PayPal. So I have my protection. And a couple of weeks ago, I got an email with a record I haven't seen in years. So this was Out of the Usual Suspects. And I was looking like, oh, wow, I haven't seen this record like forever. The first time I had seen that record, and I know this so clearly because it was actually also the first time I have seen a record so expensive in person. We made a class trip, I think it was in the beginning of the 90s, to Paris. And we went through a flea market. And there were also record sellers, and they also had back then that kind of walls. Wasn't as nice looking as today, where you can put this in, but he had shown this record. And I was going to his booth, and I was like, why is that ugliest cover you can imagine? And he said, why is this record so expensive? I think it was 9,000 francs, something around that time, which was back then, I think 3,600 or around that Deutschmarks. I think it was around that. And he said it's a super rare soul record. And I said, okay, but I look on the cover, I thought it was some kind of record about a funeral. But he said it's a super rare soul record, and I was like, wow, I love soul music. Can we play that record? Just one track to listen to it. And he looked at me and he said, Cherie, can you afford to buy this record? And I was like, mm-mm. And he said, I'm so sorry. I would love to play that record for you, but there's no way I'm playing this record on that turntable. And he had some kind of Fisher Price, a record turntable with huge batteries. I have seen these kind of turntables when I went through Den Bosch or other record fairs, where people play singles to know what's on them. And he had that, and he said, there's no way I'm going to do this. And since that, I haven't seen this record at all. It was always in the back of my mind, but it was always like, this is a record which I can't afford. It's just out of my league. So we fast forward a couple of weeks ago, where I got this email with an offer for this record. So I thought, okay, this is now a new way of records. I think, well, interesting, something new finally. And I requested once again pictures. I got all the pictures I requested in every angle I requested. I said I want a picture of the death wax and all of it. And he made a tremendously good price on it. I mean, that was one of the things I was like, this is just too good to be true. But I said, if we're doing business, I'm only using PayPal and all of this. And he was totally okay with it. So I thought, okay, the risk of it is not so big. And I tried to transfer the money via PayPal and I got an error message. I mailed the person and said, hey, I wanted to send you the money, but there's an error message. And he said, oh yeah, sorry, I tried to forget to set something up. So I transferred it a second time, it worked. So a couple of hours later, I got an email from PayPal that the person transferred the money back. And I wrote him, did you change your mind? Can happen. Or, he thought the price was too cheap. And he said, well, I have a problem with PayPal. And I was like, oh, red flag. And I said, okay, what's the problem with PayPal? And he said, well, I'm not 18. And I need to be 18 to use PayPal. And I was like, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 17, but you can transfer the money to the PayPal account of my father. And I was like, okay, you want me to transfer money on an account which is not yours to someone who is not owning the item which you're sending to me. Is that correct? And he said, it's my father's account and all of this. So I thought, okay, are there some legal issues now that I know that I'm paying someone when I know that the item doesn't belong to the person I'm paying the money to? So, but, we cleared that up and he was very friendly. And I said, well, I don't know if you ever did this, if you ever sent out records, but please put the record out of the sleeve and explain to him how to pack. And he said, I promise you, I will pack it. And I said, but I'm also requesting you to use DHL Express or FedEx or something because I'm not waiting like 1.5 months or 2 months to get the record. And also from my latest experience, some records are really being squished up and tried to get in the mailbox no matter what. So I don't want to happen this to the record if it's the record I think it is. So I would say let's open it up. It could be a scam, it could be a Rick Ashley record or a polka record or whatever. If it's the Rick Ashley album and I don't have it, I'll keep it, but I want a discount, I tell you that. But first of all, I think he packed that up pretty good. It wasn't damaged or anything. So let's see. And once again, I could be all over the moon. You will have it all on camera, or it could be something else. So be excited with me. So this is the address sticker. Okay. So let's see. That's really tight. I would say, as usual, we play some music in the background while I'm doing this. So, honestly, I'm a little nervous. that would be, well, he told me it's a VG condition. He sent me pictures of the record, so I know what to expect of it. But you know, this one is so hard to find. I'm so nervous. And the good thing is, if it's a disappointment, well, not for me a good thing, but it might be funny to see, and you can check it now frame by frame, my my disappointment, you know, like the moment when I realize it's not what it is. But he kept his word what the packaging means. You know, that's, wow. Another package. It would be fun. It would be a pizza cardboard. You know, thanks for ordering. All right. Honestly, I'm so nervous. Can you see that? Oh, wow. It's the right record. It smells old. It looks old, and it's the original. I can't believe it. So the record was moving a lot, and I do hope it's not squashed, broken, or anything. So yeah, it's I've seen worse. It's for VG. I would say it has a scratch on it, but he told me about it, a tiny one. I'm shaking a little bit. I'm shaking a little bit. So here it is, and you know, there's the. I don't know if you can see that. I can provide later on pictures. It's dirty as hell, but he also told me about this. But honestly, I never thought when I was at that flea market 20 plus years ago, more, that I will be holding this record at one day in my hands. And I made a tremendously well deal on it. And you can listen to it on YouTube. And it was also the first time I listened. When that came out on YouTube, well, that's very thin vinyl. When that came out on YouTube, I heard it, and it's a tremendously good record. And you can hardly find that one. Oh my god. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm setting up my degritter, and I clean the hell out of it, and I put it on my turntable, and or maybe I wait till tonight, and having a nice whiskey with it, and play the hell out of this thing. Holy shit! I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I'm so speechless. So yeah, thanks for watching and sharing this with me. And you know, I'll tell you how it was later on. It's just I don't know what to say. So thanks for watching, and I see you next time. Bye.